Do you find yourself reaching for food when you're not hungry? This, dear listeners, is a common example of emotional eating. It's when we use food to make ourselves feel better, to cope with stress, or to alleviate boredom or sadness. It's quite different from eating when your body needs nourishment, which we'll refer to as physical hunger. Emotional eating often stems from various triggers, and knowing these triggers is the key. Remember, understanding emotional eating is the first step to overcoming it. Emotional eating doesn't just affect your waistline, it can also impact your overall health and well-being. It's a common misconception that emotional eating only leads to a few extra pounds. In reality, the consequences are far more serious. When we use food as a coping mechanism, we often reach for high-calorie, high-sugar, or high-fat foods. Over time, this can lead to weight gain, increasing the risk of diabetes and heart disease. But it's not just our physical health at stake. Emotional eating can also take a toll on our mental health. Feelings of guilt and shame often follow these eating episodes, leading to a vicious cycle of emotional eating, guilt, and more emotional eating. This can result in low self-esteem and a negative body image, which can further exacerbate the problem. But don't fret, there are effective ways to conquer emotional eating. The key to overcoming emotional eating is identifying your triggers. So let's dive into how we can do just that. Firstly, consider keeping a food and mood diary. This is not just a record of what you eat, but also how you feel before, during, and after eating. You might be surprised at the patterns that emerge. Perhaps you're reaching for the cookie jar every time you're stressed about a work deadline. Or maybe it's late-night snacking when you're feeling lonely or bored. The beauty of a food and mood diary is that it creates a tangible link between your emotions and eating habits. It's like a mirror held up to your patterns, showing you clearly where, when, and why you're susceptible to emotional eating. Now, the next step is to pay attention to these patterns. Look beyond the surface. You might find that you're not just eating because you're stressed, but because eating provides a distraction from the stress. Or perhaps it's not just about feeling lonely, but about filling a void. Understanding these deeper emotional needs is the key to identifying your triggers. No two people are the same. Your triggers are unique to you. They're the product of your personal experiences, emotions, and coping mechanisms. By identifying them, you're not just understanding your emotional eating habits, but also gaining insight into your emotional landscape. Another tip is to observe your cravings. Are they for specific foods? Sweet, salty, or fatty foods often provide a quick fix of comfort and satisfaction. If you find yourself consistently craving these types of foods during emotional upheavals, they could be your triggers. Lastly, look at the times of day when you're most likely to emotionally eat. Are there patterns here too? Morning stress eating, late-night comfort snacking, these can be significant indicators of your emotional eating triggers. Once you've identified your triggers, you can begin to develop strategies to deal with them. And remember, this process takes time. Be patient with yourself. It's not about perfection, but progress. Each step you take brings you closer to a balanced lifestyle, so keep going. Replace emotional eating with healthy coping mechanisms. When you're feeling emotional, remember, reaching for that bag of chips or a tub of ice cream isn't your only option. In fact, there are a multitude of healthier alternatives that can help you navigate through your emotions without falling into the trap of emotional eating. Let's start with physical activity. Exercise is not only good for your body, but it's also excellent for your mind. It releases endorphins, the feel-good hormones that can help to improve your mood and reduce feelings of stress, anxiety, and depression. So when the emotional tide hits, why not take a brisk walk, go for a jog, or dance to your favorite tunes? Next, consider socializing. Humans are social creatures, and connecting with others can be incredibly therapeutic. When you're feeling down, instead of reaching for food, reach out to a friend or family member. Share a laugh, chat about your day, or simply enjoy each other's company. Now let's talk about mindfulness techniques. Mindfulness is the practice of staying present and fully engaged in the moment. It can help you to recognize and accept your feelings without resorting to emotional eating. Techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, and yoga can be especially helpful in managing your emotions. Another powerful coping mechanism is engaging in hobbies or activities you love. Whether it's reading a good book, painting, playing a musical instrument, or gardening, these activities can provide a positive distraction and help you relax and unwind. And finally, self-care. This could be as simple as taking a warm bath, writing in a journal, or listening to calming music. Self-care is about taking time to nurture your mind and body, and it's an essential part of a healthy lifestyle. Remember, the goal is not to suppress your emotions, but to manage them in a healthy way. It's about finding balance and developing strategies that work for you. So the next time you feel the urge to eat your feelings, pause, take a breath, and consider these healthier alternatives. Remember, the goal is not to suppress your emotions, but to manage them in a healthy way. Another effective strategy is to practice mindful eating. But what does it mean to eat mindfully? It's about truly savoring the moment, focusing on the here and now, and paying attention to the food in front of you. It's about experiencing the taste, texture, and smell of your food and eating slowly. Let's imagine for a moment, picture a fresh, juicy apple in your hand. Notice its vibrant color, feel its cool, crisp texture. When you take a bite, pay attention to the crunch, the sweet, tart flavor flooding your senses. This is mindful eating, appreciating every bite, truly tasting your food instead of mindlessly swallowing it down. Eating slowly is another crucial aspect of mindful eating. It's not a race. Take the time to chew your food properly. This not only aids in digestion, but also gives your brain enough time to register the signals of fullness. It takes around 20 minutes for your brain to get the message. So by eating slowly, you can actually end up eating less and thus prevent overeating. Mindful eating also encourages a healthier relationship with food. It helps you recognize your body's hunger and fullness cues and differentiate between physical hunger and emotional hunger. It allows you to enjoy your food without guilt, anxiety, or the need to rush. In the chaos of our daily lives, we often eat on the go in front of the television or while scrolling through our phones. But by eating mindfully, we can turn each meal into an opportunity to slow down, to reconnect with our bodies, and to nourish ourselves both physically and mentally. In a world that's always rushing, mindful eating is an act of self-care. It's a way to show respect for the food that fuels our bodies and the planet that provides it. And the beauty of it is that it's not a diet or a strict eating plan. It's a lifestyle, a way of life that encourages balance, awareness, and a healthier relationship with food. Mindful eating can help you enjoy your food more and prevent overeating. Sometimes emotional eating can be a symptom of an underlying mental health issue. It's a sign that something else might be going on beneath the surface, something that requires a closer look. And this is where professionals come in. Professionals such as psychologists, psychiatrists, and therapists are trained to help unravel the complex web of emotions that often drive emotional eating. They can provide tools and strategies to help you manage your emotions in a healthier way, reducing the likelihood of turning to food for comfort. Remember, there's no shame in reaching out. Emotional eating is a struggle faced by many, and it's important to know that it's okay to seek assistance. In fact, it's a sign of strength, a step towards regaining control of your life. So don't hesitate to reach out to a professional if you're struggling with emotional eating. It's okay to ask for help. You're not alone in this journey. So, to recap, overcoming emotional eating involves a multifaceted approach. Let's revisit the key points we've discussed today. Firstly, understanding emotional eating is crucial. It's about recognizing that it's not just about the food, but rather it's a coping mechanism for our emotions. We eat not because we're hungry, but because we're stressed, bored, sad, or even happy. Next, identifying your triggers is essential. By acknowledging what prompts these eating habits, you're already halfway to overcoming them. It could be anything: a stressful work situation, a personal conflict, or even just a specific time of the day. Developing healthy coping mechanisms is the third step. Instead of reaching for that tub of ice cream when you're feeling down, try going for a walk, reading a book, or even just calling a friend. Replace the harmful habits with beneficial ones. Practicing mindful eating is another key point. It's about being present in the moment, savoring each bite and listening to your body's signals. It's not about deprivation, but rather about enjoying food in a healthy, balanced manner. Lastly, don't hesitate to seek professional help if necessary. Therapists, dietitians, and support groups can provide the necessary guidance and support to help you on your journey. With patience and persistence, you can overcome emotional eating and lead a healthier, happier life. All right, before we wrap up, let's take a quick moment to remind you that if you found this video helpful and want to continue your journey towards healthier eating habits, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We're dedicated to providing you with more insightful tips and strategies to overcome emotional eating. Remember, you're not alone in this journey, and we're here to support you every step of the way. So go ahead, give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. That way you won't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. Stay tuned, stay healthy, and remember, you've got this.